Hello, precious people. Alina Phoenix here, and we are in yet another very big, energetically active period of time. The Schumann resonance was spiking off the charts, and then we had a great big blackout. On top of that, we've been getting hit with X class solar flares lately, and many of the M class and C class. So the sun is really acting up. And so the whole planet is being bombarded with this high frequency, really intense energy right now. So if you're feeling like things are a little bit intense, you're not the only one. Welcome to the evolution. Welcome to the ascension. You didn't think it was going to be comfortable, did you? Just a reminder, evolutionary force is basically change or perish. And that is what we are going through right now. We are literally going through the great evolution. We are going through the ascension of humanity. And just as a reminder, this ascension is for everyone. Every single person on this planet is going through this, as well as all of the animals and all of the plant life and all of life on the planet. Like there are no exemptions to this process. We're all in it together, folks. So, thought I might get my handy dandy little prism oracle out and do a little bit of a reading here. Just kind of see what our general energy is. So, energy on its way out, consciousness, consciousness. And so this feels like there are a lot of people that just are not aware of what's going on. There is a pull to rest right now and to kind of just, especially with winter here in the northern hemisphere, we're getting some early snows, and it feels like a lot of us are just kind of pulling back, pulling in, and just kind of shutting down a little bit because it all just feels like too much. It all just feels like too much. Very difficult to stay connected with everything and pay attention to everything that's going on at this time. And so, if you're feeling that urge to just sort of withdraw, not pay attention, veg out, lean in. I mean, it's time to just take a little care of you and let the bad stuff in the world go on without you for 5 minutes. Like, I promise you, if you don't turn on the news for a few days, you'll survive. The news will be there when you get back to it. The world will keep ticking along. It's going to be okay. Energy coming in. Pain. We got pain coming in. And it feels like this pain is on a lot of different levels. Economic for sure, especially with the holiday season coming up. We're coming up on the biggest shopping frenzy of the year. And so many people have had to pull in their belts for so long that now they're looking at their coffers for the holiday season and being like, what can I do? I don't have the money for this. The whole consumer takeover of the Christmas holiday and making it so entirely about consumption has not actually been for our best and highest good. And so I would encourage you this year to pull back a little bit, to maybe not invest so much in stuff and things, but more in people and time and shared experiences. Like it doesn't cost a whole lot to just get together and have some tea and cookies and share what we're grateful for that we've experienced all year and how each person there is a gift in your life. What if instead of presents with a T, we shared presence, as in being together and just sharing time and sharing our hearts? Because it's truly that connection we've been missing and needing in our digital world where we are far more connected to our devices than we are connected to the people that we're sitting next to sometimes. And this whole economic hardship and the difficulty in providing all of those physical presents as we are used to is a source of a lot of pain and a lot of shame for some people, because for so many people we've been taught that, giving gifts is an expression of love. And if I don't have the ability to give these gifts, well, I'm afraid that people aren't going to know that I love them and that people are going to feel neglected. So I would encourage us to reframe some of our consumption as, sharing more experiences and things that we can do to truly help each other out. Maybe instead of buying somebody else some sort of useless tchotchke or lotion that they're never going to use, how about instead, we just give them a hug and say, hey, I've been thinking about you. I'm here for you. This year's been tight. Tell me how it's been for you. Let's make the gift our connection rather than stuff and things. Because I think that we've lost sight of the fact that we truly are abundant. We look at the number in our bank account and we sit there and we freak out. But do you consider how much just stuff you have in your house? Have you considered what the actual definition of abundance is? Abundance is having all of your needs met and then a little bit extra that is enough to give away. And so I think that if you can go in your closet and clean out a bunch of things and take that down to Goodwill, you're more abundant than you think. So maybe let's focus a little bit more on sharing our presence, sharing our love, sharing our care, sharing our words of affirmation, sharing our acts of service. Maybe I can't give you a gift, but I can sure come over and clean your bathroom. Would that be fun? I mean, maybe not so much fun for me, but it would be something that would be truly appreciated, a gift of service. Let me wash your car. Let me sweep your floors. Let me help you bake and cook and clean up and put things away, and let that be the gift. So we don't necessarily have to give stuff and things. And I think that if we maybe talk to our family members and discuss with them ahead of time and kind of make a collective decision that maybe this year we're going to scale back on the presents and scale up on our presents, that would actually make this a much less painful experience and help us recapture the spirit of what the holidays, we're taught that we're supposed to be. When I was growing up, I was always taught, my grandfather would say, and I never met him. He was my mother's father. I never met my grandfather, Walter. But my mom would tell me over and over again throughout my life that her dad would always say that I could lose everything tomorrow. My house could burn down and take everything with it. But as long as I have my family, I'll start over and I will be okay. And I think that that is a kind of mentality that we could really use a little bit of getting back to. So, yeah, there's going to be some pain, but that's not unexpected. So, lesson that we're learning right now, we got determination. Determination is coming up again. And look at the pyramid and the it's very much reflective of what's going on behind me, which was the image that I was inspired to use for this particular video. Determination, and this I believe came up in our last energy update as well, that we are learning how to kind of determine our own future, determine our own destiny, determine how we are going to conduct ourselves through this period of great change and uncertainty, that we are actually captains of our own destiny. We get to decide what we're going to do and how we are going to create this future together. And so, as we look around and we are seeing the things that we maybe want to do but can't, things that are changing even though we didn't ask for it, things that are broken and not functioning well on an individual or societal basis, it's time for us to use our powers of determination to figure out, where do we want to go from here? Is this what I want? If it's not what I want, what am I going to do about it? Time to determine some things. Advice from our higher self is energy, energy. And I think that this is so important. I have been living in energy healing work for 6 years now. Yeah, about 6 years as of October. And oh my gosh, people are so unaware of how energy works and how we are using it against ourselves unwittingly, and how we can actually take personal control over how we direct our energy in order to better manage our lives. Like, this is so important. Everything is energy. We're energy. But we don't really think about how energy works. We're so busy with the minutia of everything that we forget that our thoughts have power, our words have power, that when we speak and when we think, literally every cell in our body is listening and doing its best to manifest exactly what we're talking about. So, what are you speaking to yourself? Are you speaking health? Are you speaking abundance? Are you speaking wellness? Are you speaking happiness? Are you speaking gratitude? Or are you speaking complaints? Are you speaking lack? Are you speaking illness? Are you speaking disease? What are the words that you are saying on a daily basis? And how are those affecting your energy? Because they are every single day. And did you realize that when you are feeling so intense about something and then you want something bad to happen to somebody else, that energy actually leaves your field and can attach to another person and cause bad things to happen in their lives? That happens all the time on a completely unconscious level. We are all energetic beings. We are all using our consciousness in ways both that we are aware of and that we are completely not aware of. And from my experience, the vast majority of people are using their energy very unconsciously. They just don't realize. They just don't realize. We just came out of Halloween season, and people don't realize what kind of energy they're creating when they're participating in that stuff. They just think it's a harmless good time. It's not. Where attention goes, energy flows. And so consider where you're putting your attention. Where more people put their attention, that's what we are going to get more of out of the world. So, in the case of Halloween, do you want more fear, horror, pain, torture, demons, ghosts, etc.? Do you want more of that? Well, if you do, please feel free to participate just as much as you want. But if you would perhaps like less of that in the, or even in the things that we're watching on TV, crime, drama, deceit, cheating, etc. Do we want more of those things in the world? Then please keep putting your attention there. Keep giving your attention to all of those things, and the world will continue to churn more of those out to you. Do you want more war and economic hardship and corruption on the highest levels? Then let's please focus on that and just think about that all the time. And the world will bring more of that, because where we all put our attention, that's just like spending money. You spend your time on that, you spend your energy on that, that's what the world is going to give us more of. I, for one, want more love and happiness and health and wellness and contentment and peace in my life. And so when I choose my media, when I choose my purchases, where I choose to place my attention, I keep those things in mind. And I do my best most of the time to focus my energy on the things that I want. Although I gotta say, it's kind of hard not to look at the train wreck we got going on out there right now. There's stuff going on. It's hard not to look at it. It's hard not to. But there's got to be a balance in staying informed. There's got to be imbalance in how we spend our energy. And I would say a good balance would be 80-20 or 75-25. Spend 75% to 80% of your time focused on what you want more of in this life with your energy. And then the other 20% of the time, we give ourselves grace and allow ourselves to be like, oh, that's a train wreck over there. Did you see that? Because we're human and we are wired to pay attention to that stuff. We just are. And so, it's okay to look. It's okay to, be shocked. It's okay to pay attention to that sometimes. But we definitely need to be aware of what we're doing with our energy and direct it in the most effective ways that we possibly can. Towards that end, I do a monthly uh, full moon clearing and energy activation. And each month, the activation is a little different depending on what's coming up. So, coming up for December full moon, we're doing the self, others, and field of all life activation. And it's all about activating our personal energy field in order to direct our most precious personal resource, our energy, in a more intentional way to create the life that we desire. And this particular activation for self, others, and field of all life is all about relationships, relationships with ourselves, relationships with others, relationships with the field of all life. And how can we bring our personal selves into balance with that in the most beautiful way for peace filled empowerment? And I learned how to do these activations from my mentor, Peggy Phoenix Dubrow, who is just a wonderful person. And I highly recommend you check out her. So, outcome of this period in our life, boom, fear. And I feel like this has come up again for us recently as well. Well, we are facing a period of intense and dramatic change. We are experiencing intense and dramatic energies. And the vast majority of people have no idea what is going on an energetic basis. Those of us who are doing work like this, those of us who are paying attention to videos like this, are still in the minority. But the minority is growing and is getting louder and stronger. But all of this intense energy and unexpected change triggers fear within us. And that is just, again, part of being human. Fear is not necessarily a bad thing, but if we wallow in it and if we stay focused on it, it can shut us down. It can cut us off from our intuition. It can cut us off from our higher self. It'll cut us off from our angels and our guides. So the best thing to do is to acknowledge the fear. And if you see something that is causing you to feel fearful, whether that's a headline, something going on, in your area, somebody triggers your nervous system, we want to reach inside and give comfort to the part of ourselves that is feeling that way, especially our inner children who have felt a lot of fear. And it's only now really kind of being discussed in society exactly what it means to be emotionally intelligent and to learn how to interact with all of our parts of ourselves in a way that brings wholeness instead of leaving us fractured. So it's time to turn towards the part of ourselves that is feeling that fear and ask us, dear inner me that is feeling this way, what do I need to know? Do I need to change something? Do I need to comfort you? Dear inner me, tell me what it is you need so that I can help you move through this fear and into a feeling of security and safety. It's not the easiest thing to do, especially because those feelings can be very, very intense. Um, and they're also kind of contagious. When there's a lot of people around us in fear, we have a tendency to entrain with their nervous systems unconsciously. However, a coherent nervous system that is centered and grounded in balance, in gratitude, in hope, in knowledge, actually can entrain others more powerfully than those fearful vibes. So a person that is in heart coherence and who is maintaining a balance on the inside of themselves in an authentic way has the power to negate oh gosh, I can't remember what it was that I saw, but they were like one high vibration individual has the ability to negate like 17,000 low vibration individuals or something like that. There was some sort of a something that I saw. Muscle tested true, but I can't remember it. Don't quote me on that one. Don't quote me on that one. I also feel like there is a message from Cryon that wants to come forward here. So we are going to grab my Cryon Oracle cards and we are going to pull a couple of cards here and see what Cryon has to share with us today. So, dear Cryon, tell us what we need to know, especially as we are going into these intense energetic times. So there's two shuffles. I'm going to shuffle one more time and then I'm going to cut the deck. So, what is the first thing that we need to know? Divine wisdom. Divine wisdom. And again, I love how the images on some of these cards that I'm pulling so much echo the energy of the one that I was inspired to do this video in front of. So divine wisdom. What if you don't have to be reborn again and again, but instead you simply awaken to the wisdom of the past? It would be wisdom you did not develop in this lifetime, but rather a wisdom that has come from many lifetimes over and over. Cryon. Ooh, I feel like this is speaking directly to the energies we're in. From Lee Carroll. I feel this is the greatest axiom or paradigm of the new energy that we are in. Cryon is starting to teach that we are in a new energy where we can awaken to the past. It would be like suddenly you remember everything you had learned as an old soul from lifetimes of learning and experience. Odd as this may sound, I see it almost every week within the seminar attendees I meet. Person after person tells me that they have just realized something wise within themselves and they are going to act on it. They tell me that it's like they were reborn into another world. They somehow recognize that they know more than they should and even start guiding others with good advice. This is what Cryon has been speaking of regarding the attributes of the old soul, the ability to awaken to greater truths, which seem to be remembered. Divine wisdom is the design, and we have all participated in experiences that have created it. Now we are asked to share it. And I think that that's beautiful. I really feel like these great big new energies that we're in, these waves of energies that we are experiencing, are a call for the old souls to wake up. They're activating our DNA in a way that our Akash is now closer than it ever has been before. The veil of forgetfulness is lifting, and we as humanity, as an entire planet, are becoming more aware of our own divinity and have more access to the wisdom of our ancestors and the wisdom of our own past life that is stored within us, within our sacred DNA. And this is an incredible process. I've been very in tune with it myself, and it's very much responsible for all of the things that I'm able to do in terms of channeling, in terms of doing oracle readings like this, in terms of discerning the meaning out of thin air or like I did today, having a session with a brand new client that I've never spoken with before. And she gives me two little things that she wants to work on. And then I talk to her for 3 hours about everything that's going on in her life. And I'm like, is that relevant? And she's like, yes, 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 and yes. I have no idea who this person was from Adam. And yet I can somehow tune in to their energy field and feel the imbalances going on in their body, feel the energies they've been carrying. Here are some of the thoughts that they've been thinking repeatedly to themselves, and be able to communicate to that. And they're just a little mind blown when that happens. But this awakening process, like the more that these energies flood in, the more easily I feel like I'm able to do this, and I feel like I'm not alone. I feel like this is an opening for all of us to be able to access our own inner wisdom. And in fact, I invite you to come and join me for the Worldwide Channels Retreat, which is coming up here on November 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. I'm actually going to be on virtual stage with such luminaries as Lee Carroll, as Monica Morani, Marilyn Harper, and so many other amazing, beautiful people. And we're all going to be talking about how to connect with your own inner wisdom. And it's time. It is time. Balanced survival. Balanced survival. All right, here's another echo of the other reading right here. So let's see, what does it say? Balanced survival. The new balance on the planet is the paradigm of balanced survival. Balanced ones are the ones who are going to be seen as strong. They are the ones who will bring peace to this planet. Arion. I swear I was just talking about that with the Prism Oracle reading when I was talking about fear and how someone who's in coherence and in that higher vibration can entrain people to them instead of being entrained to that feeling of fear. Like, what a beautiful, benevolent synchronicity right now. So, from Lee Carroll, I loved when Cryon gave this message. It's almost like the biblical beatitude: the meek shall inherit the earth, except the word meek may not mean quite what you think. To me, it means quiet, gentle, and compassionate. To see this as a strength would be a complete turnaround in human nature. It would mean that the bullies and those who pound their chests would be seen immediately as unbalanced, and people would turn away from them. Bosses couldn't get away with being tyrants, and politicians would have to change how they present themselves to the public. Compassion would be seen as the emotion that produces a winning scenario, and survival itself would start to be based on greater wisdom instead of force. To me, Cryon is saying that in order to survive in this new energy, we need to start a new kind of balance using compassion in our lives more than ever before. Practice seeing God in everyone. And eventually, this will lead to a far more peaceful planet. Ultimately, we will survive by being balanced. I think that's true. I think that's so true. And that so aligns with what I feel in my heart. Like, so many people are in fear, but I myself, I feel so hopeful. I feel like we are on the cusp of something amazing. I feel like there are incredible blessings that are about to flow to us in ways that we don't expect. And I think that peace on earth is not just possible, it's on its way. And it is closer than we think. It is closer than we think. But peace on earth is an inside job. It starts with all of us holding peace in our hearts. And then we add all of those pieces together, and then that adds to collective peace. And so I think that the most powerful thing that we can do is work on inner balance, work on being peaceful inside of ourselves, work on Work on it to the point where we can see those terrible things that happen in the world. And instead of being pulled out of balance, we are pulled into compassionate action. We see an atrocity, we send blessings of the opposite. We take action to mitigate that pain and to help solve those problems. Answers and solutions are on the way, and they are awakening in the hearts of all in places unexpected. And you're not going to see it if you watch the news. It's not being put out there by this mainstream media. They don't want us to see hope. They don't want us to see balance. That doesn't sell anything. If they can keep us in fear and if they can keep us feeling not good enough, well, then they can sell us solutions. Oh, you scared of a disease? Let me sell you a shot. Are you scared of, not having enough money if you pass away? Let me sell you some insurance. Are you scared of not being attractive to that other person? Let me sell you some makeup or a fancy car. It is the way that it is. And the third card, higher self. Again, look at those beautiful golden rays aligning with what's behind me. It's amazing. Higher self. Higher self is the third and final message that I'm going to ask for from Cryon right now. So, getting in touch with your higher self will create balance within you, and it will also help you with others. The higher self is the key. There is a benevolent system that loves you and sees you as you see your children. Crying from Lee Carroll. How can getting more in touch with your higher self also help you with others? To some, this is a puzzle. Again, Cryon tells me that humans think in such a linear fashion that we often put everything in a box no matter what it is. The higher self is an extremely divine and personal part of each human being. The part that we say touches the creator. Some people see it as God inside part, or the part of your soul that has one foot on the other side of the veil. What is hiding, however, is how our relationship to the higher self might profoundly change us personally. When humans go to worship, do they think, I'm going to worship today and get in touch with myself and help those around me? Normally not. Perhaps instead they go to accomplish something as dictated by their culture, or perhaps they think that God somehow expects it, or that there will be consequences if they don't. It's a God in a box scenario that Cryon tells us about. It's just a linear action that does not come close to matching the magnificence of God or the human being. They just report to the building. Getting in touch with the higher self is cementing the relationship with the energy of creation, the energy of God. It's not needed or expected. It's not a have to because of some doctrine. It's a personal choice to change and become closer to the oneness of all things. It's not connected to a human organization or a set of rules. Is there a set of rules on how to love your children? Can you put love in a box? When you are in tune with your higher self, you are in tune with your total self. This means you are a far more benevolent person who creates joy where you walk and who understands that love and compassion are the real tools of humanism. Pulling this card is a wonderful synchronicity and an acknowledgement of the benevolent, beautiful relationship that you are creating with your higher self. I love that. And I feel like that is so synchronous with what the Prism Oracle had to say as well. Like it is just, it's beautiful. And I truly do believe that the more that I've been connecting with my own higher self, the more that I've been reversing what doctors told me was absolutely incurable, the more that I've learned to connect with my higher self, the deeper that my love is for my own self and for everyone around me. And I find that I am a more balanced person. most of the time. There are still some people that, trigger my wounds and push my buttons. I'm still human. And one of the things that I like to say is, do you know how to know when you are fully ascended, when you have learned every single lesson and there is no more left to learn from being human in this lifetime? Do you know how you know? You know, because your body turns into light and ascends into the heaven without you having to die. And so, if you are still here in a physical body, there's still more learning and work to do. And that's not a bad thing. Being human is a beautiful and wonderful and amazing experience. And if it wasn't, we wouldn't keep doing it. But here we are again and again and again. And yeah, the whole thing with past lives, oh, that's a real thing. Oh my goodness, I got stories. Anyway, there is a third deck that I would like to do a little bit of reading from, and this one is Gaia Revealed. This one is by Monica Morani, who is also going to be presenting at the Channelers Retreat in just a few days now. And I would love to know if Gaia herself, dear precious Gaia, dear precious planet that we are living on right now, do you have a message for us today? All right, so known by Gaia, known by Gaia. As you live on planet Earth, Gaia and the entire system of the Creator knows you are here. You are known and loved beyond measure. I feel like I want to have a little bit of tears over that one, but that is so beautiful. What a beautiful acknowledgement from our beautiful planet at this time. Did you know that Gaia, our mother, the very planet, the earth that we walk on, knows every single one of us, every breath that we take, every step that we take on this planet, we are known and we are supported and we are loved beyond measure. It's it's a really important thing. And I'm one of my aspects is of Gaia grid worker, and I do work with the crystals and I do energy healing work in order to bring balance to the planet itself, and anywhere that I go that I can feel that there's pain and imbalance there. I just feel driven on the inside to do something about it. And so I do that everywhere I travel. I build tools the um the materials that the earth brings forth, like my organite wands that I use every day with my clearing. I've got my coasters that I use that help me to control pain. And I also make jewelry and all kinds of stuff. And so I do this work, and gosh, even if nobody would buy this stuff, I'd still be doing it because I feel so pulled and driven to just help try and bring balance to the planet everywhere I go as much as I can. I don't know why, but I just do, because I love this planet so much. I've road tripped all kinds of places. I've seen so much beauty. And it's such a big wide world. And oh my goodness, I would love to see humans come into, oh my goodness, I might sneeze, come into a much better balanced relationship, acknowledging the give and take that we have with Gaia and bringing that part of our relationship into balance. Because peace on earth is going to, by necessity, also include coming into balance with Gaia herself. So, another card, precious animals of Gaia. Precious animals of Gaia. The precious animals of Gaia are here in service to humanity. The animals we know as pets have one purpose: companionship and love. Aw. Oh, and to me, that is such a precious message because I've only just recently gotten my kitty cats to come live with me in my new place. And it just fills my heart so much to have them here. And it makes my day so much better when they just come and they, give me headbutts and rub up against me and meow at me and snuggle me and lay on me when I sleep or, jump in my lap when I'm sitting down. Like it's an amazing bond. And I feel so grateful that they're here with me. And it's also hard because I've got, some animals that I've left behind. I could only take two, and I'm used to living with six, five cats and a dog, and I can feel the grief of everyone, myself and all of my animal companions. Um, even from all this ways away, I can feel it, and it's hard. It's hard, but this is a necessary change that I needed to make. But they're so precious and they're just here to give us love. And, we should really be grateful for that. We should really be grateful for that. And then the third message from Gaia: return to Gaia, return to Gaia, return to the knowing of the indigenous, where Gaia has a face and a personality. Allow yourself to receive the alliance with Gaia that exists for you and deepen your connection with the planet. And that's card number 33. Oh, and I think that our animal companions are also here to help facilitate that connection. I get a yes on that because it we humans have a tendency to hold ourselves somehow apart from nature, as if, this planet is just something that we live on, not necessarily a living being that we are in relationship with. We have a tendency to not consider our impact. um, and if you'll forgive the crudeness, in my opinion, humans have not yet learned how not to shit our own bed. Like we have not yet learned not to pollute our own environment that we live in. And that includes our bodies and that includes our homes. Like we've been sold this idea of better living through chemistry, as if all of these chemicals that they have produced through science are only benevolent, doing only the things that we want. And we often fail to consider the unintended consequences on ourselves, on the balance of nothing like a little technical difficulty to enhance the day. Well, I could feel myself getting a little soapboxy on the subject, but basically, the point that I got cut off in was essentially we need to be very aware of what we're putting into our environment, especially on a physical level. And, just pay attention to how the things that you're doing are affecting your world, are affecting your health. And it's time to make some changes and maybe stop using so many chemicals, stop using so many plastics, stop using so many of these man made things that we think, oh, fabulous, look at what it does. But, we fail to take into consideration those unintended, unintentional consequences. Um, yeah. And Gaia is here with us. Gaia is our precious companion who is here to love us and nurture us and provide for us. And there is more than plenty. There is an abundance here that we need to appreciate and tap into on a very collective level. But since we can't really control the collective, we can only control the personal. It's time for us to really kind of look at our own personal relationship with the earth and start giving thanks and start deepening our own connection with our environment around us and paying attention to, like, is this really for my best good? Is this really doing all the good things, and enhancing the field of all life? Or am I maybe pulling it more out of balance with this particular action, whether it be raking the leaves or, killing the weeds or, you know, whatever it may be? We need to start respecting the world that we live in a lot more than we have been and learn how to bring ourselves into balance with that. So, since that technical difficulty lasted a little while, and I think it was encouragement that maybe it's time for me to wrap it up. So I hope that this little energy update has helped you understand a little bit more about what's going on and help to bring some hope into your life, and also helped you to understand a little bit more about your own power in this situation, because we are all more powerful than we imagine. And we all have the ability to create the life that we desire. Are we courageous enough to make the choices? Are we determined enough to do what needs to be done? Or are we going to allow fear to keep us small and give us all the reasons why not? And that's up to us entirely. So I encourage you to be just as bright and as free and as beautiful and as balanced as you can be. And if I can be of assistance, I invite you to reach out to me on phoenixhealingcreations.com and schedule an appointment. I would love to be of service, or to invite you into some of my wonderful group sessions. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day.